Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do these, do a problem for dividing decimals. So let's take a look at this problem here. 1.44 divided by 0.12. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, well, what I like to teach people to do is write this as a fraction. We want to go ahead and change that to a fraction. And when you do that, you have to know what the numerator is, and you have to know what the denominator is. The numerator is always the first number before the division sign. The denominator is the number after the division sign. So when I write this as a fraction, I'm going to have 1.44 on the top as the numerator. Sorry about that. And down here we're going to have 0.12 as the denominator. Okay? Now that we've done that, you have to write this as long division to go ahead and start dividing. So the denominator goes on the outside, and since that's zero, we don't necessarily have to write the 0 out here in the front. And then I'm going to put 1.44 on the inside. Now, does anybody remember what we have to do from here? Selena? We got to do something with this number here. What do we got to do with that? Make it a whole number, okay? So we do that by moving the decimal however many times we need to move it until it's a whole number. Twice, thank you. So for this, it's 1 and then 2. And whatever you do on the outside, that the inside number follows the same thing. So that's going to be 1 and then 2. So now we have to rewrite it. So now instead of 0.12, it's just going to be 12. And on the inside, instead of being 1.44, the decimal is now going to be here. So this is really going to be the whole number 144. And now we just have to figure out how many times does 12 go into 144. Anybody know? Mr. Antonio? 12 times. So our answer to this problem, 1.44 divided by 0.12 is 12. Final answer. Okay? Let's take a look at another division problem real quick. And as a matter of fact, let's take a look at this one here, because I want one that we got to actually do some work on. This one, this was quick and to the point. So let's take a look at when it's not so quick and to the point. Hold on. Let me find one in here. Alright, I'm going to take a look at number 21. We have 15.12 divided by 2.4. Alright? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write it as a fraction first. The first number is the numerator. So 15.12 will be the numerator. The second number, 2.4, is going to be our denominator. And now we write this as long division. The denominator always goes on the outside. So this is how it should look. 2.4 on the outside, 15.12 on the inside. And what are we supposed to do with this number on the outside again? Raise your hand. Oshari. Make it a whole number. So for this one, how many times am I going to have to move the decimal here? Oshari. Once. So that's going to be 1. And then I do the same thing on the inside. Once. Okay? So our new decimal place for the number on the inside is going to be between 1 and 2. So now instead of 2.4, we're going to have 24. And instead of 15.12, we're going to have 151.2. at this point, you need to have the decimal. These two decimals have to be aligned. So I have to put a decimal up here. Like that. And now we got to just start working to see how many times does 24 go into 151. So somebody give me a number to multiply by. Okay, let's try it. 4 times 7. So I have the 8. What do I do with the 2? Okay. 7 times 2 plus 2. All right. Too big, too small, just right? All right, so let's try another number.
6.
Okay, let's try it.
24.
Okay,
Put the 2 on top of the 2.
good.
Third. 12.
Plus 2.
14.
Too big, just right, too small? Just right, because remember when we did times 7, it was too big, so this one has to be just right. So we're going to do times 6, and 24 times 6 is 144. We subtract. So we know we can't do 1 from 4, so we got to borrow, right?
Yes.
That makes this 5 or what? That 5 turns into a 4. Good job. And this 1 turns into what? 11. So now we do 11 minus 4, which is what? Take your time. 11 minus 4.
6.
No. 7. 7. And then we bring down this 2. Because remember, this 5 turned to a 4. So 4 minus 4 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. So we're just left with 7. And then we bring the 2 down. So now we have to go back and multiply again. 24 times what? Which I want to try? 4. Okay. 4 times 4. 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 2.
8.
Plus 1. Too big, too small, just right? Alright, so what's next?
3.
3. Okay. So we're going to do 24 times 3.
12.
Carry the 1.
6.
Plus 1. 7. Alright. So that happens to be just right. So that's going to be times 3. We put the 3 here. Right, 72, and we're subtracting. That gives us 0. So our final answer is right here. We're going to have 0.3. Final answer. 6 and 3 tenths. Okay? Right. So either 6.3 or 6 and 3 tenths. Alright? So that was dividing decimals. Let's take one look at multiplying decimals. Let's see here. We'll take a look at number 10 on that first page. Multiplying decimals. Okay. So the problem here says 43.68 times 2.5. First thing we need to do is write it out how we would normally multiply. So 43.68, 2.5, and we're multiplying. First thing you always need to do is check how many numbers are after the decimal. So for that first number, how many digits are after the decimal?
2.
Okay, so 2 digits. How many digits after the decimal here? 1 digit. So our final answer has to have a total of 3 digits after the decimal. Okay? So let's go ahead and multiply now. 8 times 5.
40.
Carry the 4. 6 times 5. 30 plus 4 is 34. Carry the 3. 3 times 5.
15.
Plus 3. Good job. Carry the 1. 4 times 5. Plus 1. Now we put a 0 here. Now we do 2 times 8. Carry the 1. 2 times 6.
12.
Plus 1.
13.
Carry the 1. 3 times 2.
6.
Plus 1. 4 times 2. And now we can just add. That's going to be 0. That makes 10. We carry that 1. 8 and 3 make 11. Plus 1 makes 12. Carry that 1. 1 and 7 make 8. Plus 1 makes 9. And then 2 and 8 make
10.
All right, now we still have to come up with our final answer, which has to have how many numbers after the decimal?
3.
3. So between what two numbers would I put the decimal? Raise your hand on, yell it out. London?
9 and 2.
9 and 2. So we should have 109.200 following it. Now, since these are zeros after that point 2, you don't have to include them. So we really can write the answer 109.2. Okay? But we still follow the rules. We put it 3 numbers after the decimal. All right? So that's that.